employees must give understanding and compliance with all safety rules their first and highest priority. This program will enhance your understanding of the blue signal, blue flag rules. This program follows guidelines contained in the Federal Railroad Administration's Code of Federal Regulations, Title 49, Part 218. Blue signal protection is required for all railroad employees assigned to inspect, test, repair, or service railroad rolling equipment or their parts, including brake systems. Train and yard crews are excluded from this requirement when performing such work on railroad rolling equipment in train or yard movements they are assigned to operate. Any locomotive or railroad car, whether alone or coupled in any combination, is considered rolling equipment. A blue signal is a clearly distinguishable blue flag or blue light by day and a blue light at night. A blue signal attached to the operating controls of a locomotive need not be lighted if the inside of the locomotive cab is lighted to make the blue signal clearly distinguishable. When a blue signal is properly displayed, it signifies that workmen are on, under, or between rolling equipment. Servicing does not include supplying cabooses, locomotives, or passenger cars with items such as ice, drinking water, tools, sanitary supplies, stationery, or flagging equipment. Testing includes all testing except visual observations made by an employee positioned inside or alongside a caboose, locomotive, or passenger car. Under this rule, 2 or more workmen of any craft or crafts assigned to work together as a unit under a common authority and who are in communication with each other while the work is being done are a group of workmen. Except for train and yard crews assigned to yard or train movements, blue flag protection is required for A. Car shop employees only. B. All railroad employees assigned to inspect, test, repair, or service railroad rolling equipment, or C. Locomotive shops employees only. The correct answer is B. All railroad employees assigned to inspect, test, repair, or service railroad rolling equipment. A blue signal is a clearly distinguishable blue flag or blue light by day and a blue light at night. A. True, or B. False. The correct answer is true. A blue light is correct by day or night, but a blue flag is only correct during the day. A switch providing access in these rules means a switch that, if traversed by rolling equipment, could permit that rolling equipment to couple to the equipment being protected. An effective locking device for a manually operated switch or derail is one that is vandal-resistant, tamper-resistant, and can only be locked or unlocked by the class, craft, or group of employees being protected by it. A manually operated switch is a switch that is lined at the switch point by activating a lever. The lever is secured by a latch assembly that, when locked, will prevent the switch from being lined into the track being protected. Some switches are controlled by an operator at the controls of a remotely controlled switch. On this type of switch, an effective locking device is a means of blocking that will effectively prevent the lever or button controlling the switch from being operated. A main track is any track extending between stations or through yards upon which trains are operated by timetable, train order, or the use of which is controlled by a signal system. A switch providing access in these rules means a switch that, if traversed by rolling equipment, A. could permit that rolling equipment to couple to the equipment being protected, B. could permit that rolling equipment to pass near the equipment being protected, or C. both A and B are right. The correct answer is A. Switch providing access is a switch that, if traversed by rolling equipment, could permit that rolling equipment to couple to the equipment being protected. When workmen are on, under, or between rolling equipment on a main track, blue signal protection must be provided. A blue signal must be displayed at each end of the rolling equipment. And if the rolling equipment includes one or more locomotives, a blue signal also must be attached to the controlling locomotive. Remember, if the blue signal is attached to the operating controls of the locomotive and the locomotive cab is lighted enough to make the signal clearly visible, the signal attached to the controlling locomotive does not have to be lighted. However, if the area is not clearly lighted, a blue light where it is readily visible to the operator is required on the locomotive. When workmen are doing emergency work on rolling equipment coupled to a locomotive on a main track and blue signals are not available, the engine man must be notified and effective measures must be taken to protect the workmen making the repairs. Emergency work may be performed on main track trains without blue signal protection, even if blue signals are available. A, true, or B, false. The correct answer is false. When blue signals are available, they must be used when workmen are doing emergency work on rolling equipment on a main track. When employees are assigned to inspect, test, repair, or service railroad rolling equipment on tracks other than main tracks, a blue signal must be displayed at or near each manually operated switch and each manually operated switch lined against movement to that track, and the latch assembly is locked with an effective locking device, and the switch latch assembly will not allow the switch to be thrown when lock is applied. A derail capable of restricting access may be used to fulfill the requirements of a manually operated switch on tracks other than main tracks when positioned no less than 150 feet from the end of equipment being protected. The derail must be locked in a derailing position with an effective locking device, and a blue signal must be displayed at each derail. When access to a track on which workmen are to perform work is controlled by a remotely controlled switch, the operator of the remotely controlled switch must be notified that work is to be performed, and the operator must notify the workman that the remotely controlled switch has been lined against movement to the track being protected and that the control switch has been locked. The operator must maintain a written record for 15 days of each notification, the name and the craft of employee requesting the protection, the track identification number, the date and time that the operator notified the employee that the protection had been provided as requested, the date and time the operator was informed that the work was completed, as well as the name and craft of the employee making the notification. On a track other than a main track, blue signals should be displayed as closely as possible to the equipment being protected. True or false? The correct answer is false. On tracks other than main tracks, blue signals must be displayed at or near each manually operated switch providing access to that track, or at the derail being used to fulfill the requirements of a manually operated switch. Railroad employees must follow all the safety rules, look out for their buddies, practice teamwork, and avoid becoming complacent to avoid injuries. No rules are more important than the blue signal rules. Compliance with these rules is a must for working safely. No shortcuts or excuses are ever acceptable. The well-being of you and your coworkers is in your hands.